Today, I would like to talk about Freud's idea on religion. Of course, it is not easy to talk about Freud's approach to religion because Freud's views regarding religion is very debatable, it is very provocative. And in many people's mind, many people consider Freud as the foe of religion. So, of course, we are aware of the difficulty of the subject, but I think Freud is one of the few social scientists and psychologists who developed a very interesting approach to religion, and I think his approach to religion allow us to evaluate religion from different perspective. In mainstream psychology, basically, study of religion is a neglected topic, and just a few psychologists who seriously studied religion. And Freud, I think, is one of the few psychologists who really deal with religions in a serious and deeply manner. Freud wrote three important works in the area of religion. The first one is Totem and Taboo, the second one is Moses and Monotheism, and the third one is The Future of Illusion. Before we talk about Freud's approach, we have to know that Freud's approach, Freud theory, has been called as psychoanalysis. In psychoanalytic theory, according to psychoanalytic theory, human being has drive or instinctual processes which motivates human behavior, and at the same time we have some internal patterns which provide an organization for our personality. And also psychoanalytic theory is also talking about our the relationship between our unconscious and outside of the world. Freud is the main spokesman or the main founder of psychoanalytic theory. When it comes to religion, Freud always has as a sort of suspicious attitude toward religion. As a matter of fact, Freud in his personal life is not a religious man. He called himself as an atheist, a godless Jew or an atheist Jew. He he strongly criticized traditional institutional religion. Therefore, uh, Friedrich Nietzsche and Ludwig Feuerbach, who is the author of The Essence of Christianity, they are two important figures who are the main inspirational source of Freud regarding religion. Freud also, his mind is scientifically oriented mind because of his scientific orientation. He followed or adopted or accepted Comtean philosophy of positivism. So Freud tried to develop a scientific theory for human personality. Spiritual, religious matters almost neglected by Freud. So, as I said a short while ago, Freud was influenced by positivism, and positivism approached religion as something primitive, as something belongs to primitive age of human history. So I think this way of looking religion, considering religion as a something primitive, as something unscientific, is the main idea in the mind of Freud. So when Freud talks about human personality, he tries to explain human personality in material, in biological terms. Therefore, he's talking about human sexuality. But religion is not something material. It's not something concrete. It's not something biological. That is why Freud, in his theory of human personality, religion doesn't occupy an important place. So, of course, Freud, he explained human personality from psychoanalytic perspective. He developed very important concepts. Especially, he developed three main concepts. The first one is id, second one ego, the third one is superego. And also, he makes very important distinction between conscious and unconscious dimension of human personality. So, in our unconscious, we have some drive there, and this drive, this instinct, govern our personality. So, the drive which exists in unconscious, they are govern or rule or lead our id. It represents the instinctual dimension of our personality. It basically consisted of aggressive, immoral sexual desires. Superego represents our our conscious about what is good and what is bad. It's a sort of moral dimension of our personality. And the third dimension is ego. It is the center between it and ego. Uh, uh, ego tries to make the demands which comes from superego, or it tries to make their demand acceptable and rational, socially acceptable and rational. So it is a sort of the center of balance between two them. Of course, Freud talks about Oedipus complex. Oedipus complex means boys' desires for their mother, and he's also talking about Electra complex, which means girls' desires for their father. So these are very interesting concepts which Freud tries to develop. And also, but when it comes to religion, Freud tries to find out what is the origin of religion. Freud basically is interested about the origin of religions rather than religious experience. And his theory regarding the origin of religion has been expressed in his work in Totem Taboo. According to Freud, all totems they are representing different prohibition and restriction in the group. Basically, he thinks that there is a story behind this taboo. According to him, very long time ago, children, they want to have their father, they want to have their mother, but because of the existence of their father, they couldn't have their mother, and then in order to satisfy their desire, they killed their father, and then they have their mother. But after they kill their father, they feel guilt, and in order to compensate these feelings of guilt, they exalted, they give authority their father, and this totem somehow is a sort of compensatory ways in order to ease the feelings of guilt. So basically, the idea of God is the projection of the idea of father. So the concept of father in Freud's theory is very important. And in Freud's approach to religion, he said that the origin of the idea of God and the origin of religion lies in human projection of father in the level of God. And the other important book he wrote is The Future of Illusion. Uh, Basically, Freud, in the feature of illusion, argues that he said that in the future, religion is going to be eliminated. Uh, I mean, in the future, humanity is not going to need religion because religion is a universal neurosis at the heart of human civilization. In order to think scientifically, in order to make human civilization more healthy, religion must be removed. Human individual must liberate themselves from religion. And Freud said that there is no reality behind religion. Religion is just illusion. The concept of illusion, considering religion as illusion, means that from Freudian perspective, religion is not something scientific, is not something realistic. When humanity eliminate religion from their life, humanity is going to replace religion by science. So, as long as science exists in human life, there will be no need for religion. Freud thinks that religion has negative impact on human personality. Religion is the main force which prevent intellectual, psychological, and social development of humankind. So, for the development of humankind, religion is a problem. So, humankind, if they want to develop, first of all, they must get rid of they must get rid of from religion. So, but at the same time, he said that why people need religion, because it is it is a fruit of feeling weaknesses, because natural powers and tragic events of human life, people feel themselves very weak and they need consolation. So, in order to satisfy their feelings of consolation and weaknesses, human individual refuge to religion. So, what Freud basically said that religion generally, and particularly the idea of God, is the psychological projection or psychological construction which have no reality behind it. So what we see that basically Freud said that religion is a psychological construction, nothing more. Of course, this idea, Freud's idea regarding the origin of religion, regarding the idea of God as the projection of human fathers and so on, uh, created a lot of debate and controversy. And many theologians, religious circles, church authorities, they strongly condemned Freud and his theory. Uh, and especially religious people, uh, they say that Freud's idea cannot be acceptable because religion promote and support universal ethical life. Universal human ethic cannot be reduced to the taboo, or cannot be reduced just human projection of the idea of father, because they say that religion has a transcendental origin, transcendental dimension. Religion is not a human construction. It is a reality. Human individual just have to accept and recognize this concrete reality. Uh, uh, and some people said that Freud's idea or Freud's criticism of religion uh, is not objective and scientific. They say that it is just subjective interpretation. And they also said that it is a reductionist approach. They say they just Freud reduced religion to empty psychology. So psychological reductionism is another important criticism against Freud's approach to religion. And also within psychology itself, Freud's theory in totem taboo don't consider to be a sound scientific theory, because Freud doesn't provide a sound foundation or a sound proof for his story, uh, which he thinks that the totem or the idea of God comes from. But generally, yes, Freud's idea can be criticized by religious people because his theory can be debated from various angles. But on the other hand, maybe Freud tell us something different, help us to see different side of religion. When we look at from Freud perspective, if we look at if we approach religion, we can see that maybe not all religious experience, but some versions of religious experience, they are illusion. I mean, there is no connection between reality, between rationality, and some version of religious experience. So maybe Freud could help us to see the illusionary elements of religious experience. That could be a good contribution of Freud to religious side. The other on the other hand, we have to connect our human relations and our relations with sacred. I mean, what is our relations with our family? What is our relation with our mother, father, peers, society, authority, and so on? So, how can our human relations influence our relations with sacred, our relations with God? Freud said that the idea of God originated from our perception of Father. Maybe, I mean, maybe it helped us, Freud could help us to see how our human relations influence our religious relations, which is with sacred. So I think many positive things, many negative things can be said about Freud's approach to religion from religious perspective, but that does not mean that we have to neglect or reject Freud's theory altogether. I think there is still a possibility to have a dialogue between Freud and religion. Maybe psychoanalysis could listen religion or could understand religion better. Similarly, religion also must get benefit from Freud's theory in order to make itself more understandable, more meaningful. I think Freud's theory on religion provide such positive facility, positive way for religion. Thank you.